Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great day at Lightning Live. Welcome to your sample flipped lesson. So today I'm going to teach you a short lesson about solving simple equations. So the learning goals today are that we are going to solve equations that involve one variable on one side of the equal sign, and we'll define three different things: equation, solve, and solution. So before we get to the method, let's look at a word problem where this might be useful, somewhere in the real world. Jennifer spent a total of $11 on 2 magazines. The cost of one magazine is $5. You can use an equation to find the cost of the other magazine. So before you use an equation, just think about this logically. You know that a magazine is $5, and then the other one, you have to add something to the $5 to get 11. So hopefully most of you can think about this and just realize that it must be $6. But let's show how to do this formally with an equation. So when you do an equation, first you want to choose a variable to represent the unknown and identify your variable. In this case, we know the cost of the first magazine, but we don't know the cost of the second magazine. So we'll say let M represent the cost of the second magazine in dollars. Okay, I'm putting some short form here for you, which is fine, or you can write the full word magazine. Okay, so M is going to represent the cost. So the equation is 5 plus M has to equal 11. So the cost of the first magazine is $5 plus the cost of the second magazine, that's a variable because it's unknown, equals 11. So what is the value of the variable will make this equation true? So you have two ways of doing this. Either you can look just by inspection, which just means just figuring it out by looking at it. So you can say M equals 6 just because you know 5 plus 6 is 11. Or you can do it by doing opposite operations, which I'll do over here. We have that 5 plus M equals 11. So we want to get M all by itself so that we can solve for it. So because there is a 5 on this side, to get rid of a plus 5, you would subtract 5 from this side. And because this is an equation and you have to do the same thing on both sides, that means you also subtract 5 from the other side. So you can see that 5 minus 5 is 0, so that goes away. So we're left with only an M on the left side. And we know that 11 minus 5 is 6, so we get the solution M equals 6. So an equation is a statement where I would say the left side equals the right side. Okay, so for example, 2x plus 1 equals 10 is an equation, or 3x equals 12 is an equation. But if you have something like just, I'll use a different color, something like x plus 1, that is not an equation, that is an expression, okay, because it's not set equal to anything. So to solve an equation means to find the value of the unknown that makes the equation true. Okay, so what this means is that you have to find the value of the unknown that will make it actually equal to left side equals right side. Okay, so the solution is the value of the variable so that left side equals right side. So I'll kind of talk about these definitions as we do some examples. So we're going to do two different types of equations, and then you're going to practice. So the first kind is when there's adding or subtracting. So again, the first method is called inspection, which just means looking at it and figuring it out. Okay, so if we look at this and inspect it, we think something plus 4 equals 13. Well, it can't be 10 because 10 plus 4 is 14. So, oh yeah, it's 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. So you can just go right to saying x is equal to 9 if you want to. The other method, which is much more useful if you have bigger numbers or it's just not as simple, is called isolating the variable. So when you isolate the variable, that means you get the unknown variable all by itself. So in this case, it's x. So I'll rewrite the equation. Sorry, there you go. X plus 4 equals 13. So we want to get x all by itself. Notice that it has a plus 4 next to it. We wanted to get just x equals. So that means this 4 needs to go to the other side of the equal sign. Well, how do you get rid of a plus 4? You get rid of a plus 4 by subtracting 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. But because you did it on this side, you also have to do it on this side. So 4 minus 4 goes away, and then you get x is equal to 13 minus 4. So x is equal to 9. You get the same answer. Okay, let's try it with subtraction instead. So again, we can start with inspection. Something minus 8 is equal to 2. What is that something? Well, that's something you can play around with it, or maybe some of you just know right away. You can guess and check, but the answer is 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. But now let's do it the isolate the variable way, which again is needed if it is larger numbers, or for those of you who maybe just can't think quite as quickly. So we want this x all by itself. We want it alone. Right now you're subtracting 8 from it. So how do you get rid of a minus 8? Well, you add 8. You do the opposite thing. Minus 8 plus 8 is 0. So because you did it on this side, you also do it on this side. So then you're left with x equals 2 plus 8. So x equals 10. 10 is the solution. So we solved the equation to find the solution. X equals 10 is the solution because 10 plus 8 is equal to 2. So that's one type with adding and subtracting. Now let's try with multiplying and dividing. So again, you can try inspection or you can try isolating the variable. In this case, I'm just going to show you the method of isolating the variable. Inspection, again, is just kind of using logic and just looking at it and figuring it out. So remember, we want to get y all by itself. But what is the problem? Y isn't y by itself yet. Well, it's because it's being multiplied by 3. So how do you undo multiplication? You do division. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So you're just going to be left with y on this side. But because you did it on the left side, you have to be fair and also do it to the right side. So these cross out, and you're left with y equals 18 over 3, or y equals 6. Okay, and you can check it. 3 times 6 is 18. That works. So that's how you do multiplication. How do you do division? Well, for some of you, this might look just like a fraction, but it actually is division. This means n divided by 2. So if you want to get n all by itself, sorry, n divided by 4. So if you want to get n all by itself, how do you undo division? You do it by multiplying. So instead of just n divided by 4, then we're going to multiply it by 4, and these will cross off, which leaves you with just n. But again, because I did it on the left side, I have to do it on the right side. 2 times 4 is 8. So my answer is n equals 8. That's my solution, and I can check it. Yes, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so I did it right. Now, why don't you try some practice questions? First, we start with addition, then subtraction, and then a slightly different addition question. And then we have multiplication, division, and another multiplication question. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned lots.